good evening.
Good evening, all you homesteader wannabes. We decided that we better make a video about what we're doing, why we're doing it, things like that. Questions that the masses have been wanting to know.
Clamoring for answers.
We can hardly hold them back. We figure we better answer some questions or they're going to riot. So we've written down some that we thought of ourselves that other people have been asking fairly frequently when they hear about what we're doing. And so we'll just kind of run through them, let you know what's going on.
Yeah.
So
I guess the number one question that you guys get asked, why are you doing this?
that is the number one question.
What's the thought process behind all of this?
Was there a thought
Yeah, I was
process?
is there a thought process?
Of course.
Or dad just wants to go play out in some dirt.
That I do.
Yep.
Well, I'll start, I guess. So, but the main reason we're doing this is to become more self-reliant. We want to have processes in place and all that that we can support ourselves in preferably any situation that happens to come up. So we want to be able to have the food we need to eat and be able to sustain ourselves, even if other things are going on in the world that are not good. So that's kind of our main goal.
Preparing for the zombie apocalypse.
That's why
So-
Brady's there.
Are you guys doomsday preppers?
We aren't doomsday preppers, but we want to be prepared. We want to be able to take care of ourselves. It's just like a couple years ago when people were freaking out about a few things. It was nice we didn't freak out because we had food, we had toilet paper, we had shampoo, we had the things that we needed because that's just how we live. And so we just want to be able to do more of that because all of those things that we had we've purchased from the store, but we want to be able to just have it ourselves.
Yeah, I always think of the end of the world prepping side of things is really a subcategory of what we're really trying to accomplish here. It's really a lifestyle of self-sustainability. So yeah, end of the world type stuff, doomsday, zombie apocalypse, whatever it might be. Those are all subcategories of the bigger picture of being self-reliant. So whatever comes up, then we're prepared. And we've always felt this need to, of course, as with a family, and feeling you need to support them, and we wanted to be a refuge for our family. And so if something were to happen, we were a place to go to, and we could be that refuge and be a safe place where we all could be continue on and be self-sustained. Yeah. What about you, Brady?
I'm doing this for fun and money.
We have we got Brady to come on to help us because I'm not 20 years old anymore.
Well, I'm not 20 years old anymore.
Well, I guess I'm the young guy in the group. And we knew Brady would be great on this and be able to really help out. And so
Yeah.
yeah.
Now,
Yes.
you mentioned a desire to be self-reliant and everything. Have you always had that? Have you always wanted to go off-grid with it? Or is this a new desire to go off-grid?
You want to start that one?
So I know exactly when he decided he wanted to move out to the country was when you were a baby and your sister Sabrina was a baby because you were a year apart. And Dad watched a documentary about rural doctors and the need for rural doctors. And all of a sudden, that's when he started wanting to move out of town and live out in the country. So I distinctly remember it.
Yeah, I do too.
And I was like, wait, we didn't talk about this before. So,
Yeah, actually, the funny thing is when I was a kid, I can specifically remember driving through the country and seeing farmland and uh, everything, and thinking to myself, man, that is one thing I would never ever want to do in my life is be a farmer.
never say
and
never.
and now I wouldn't say that I necessarily want to be a farmer because we consider ourselves more of homesteaders. We're not trying to grow huge crops and everything else in order to sell it for our living necessarily. But we think of ourselves as homesteaders, and that goes along with the whole self-reliance thing. But yeah, my views of that have
Changed
changed
over the years.
drastically over the years as I've felt this need to get back to the earth, to the ground, growing, planting, building, all those things I just think are grounding and so important in our lives. And I think that we miss out on so much of that stuff in when we're in the city and all the hustle and bustle and you know just doing a job to make money to pay for our mortgages and everything else. We're it just really feels natural and healthy and all that to go this route and get back to the earth and things that are more natural. So it's definitely been a change through the years.
I think it's your food nourishes you in a different way when you prepare it and also when you produce, well, when you help to produce it. So we don't produce our eggs, but we take care of our chickens so that they produce eggs for us. And or when we grow plants, or um, when we harvested our roosters. I mean, it it's different when you go through that process than when you just buy it at the store and it, you know, doesn't look like an animal. Looks, and it's on styrofoam or whatever. But even with fruits and vegetables, it's just nourishes you differently when you planted the seeds and when you watered it every day and when you took care of it.
Yeah, when you know what went
You know what
into
went
it.
into it. You
Yeah,
appreciate it more
yeah,
than when you just just grab
stuff from the
stuff
grocery
at the
store
grocery store and expect it to always be there.
that you don't know how it's been grown and what
What's been sprayed on it,
pesticides and
or
all have been sprayed on it and all that kind of stuff. So, we're hoping to definitely have more natural food, more healthy stuff for us and all. So I completely forget what even the question was now.
It was, did
We're,
you always
did we
want to
always
go off
want
grid?
Oh, so there's that aspect of it. Is did you always want to go off grid? So even when we were talking about going to the country, yeah, off grid wasn't really initially part of the plan or the thought process, but as things progressed, I guess that kind of became the natural part of what we were planning as well. Because, well, if you want to be self-sustaining, you're going to be on the grid where blackouts will occur, or uh, you know, you're relying on somewhere else, the government, whatever it might be, to provide utilities and all for you. Well, then you're you're not really self-sustaining. So that just kind of started to become part of the process.
and also when you started thinking about it, wasn't it easy to be off grid? So there wasn't like solar technology and everything. So
Yeah.
you could have done it with candles.
Yeah. So with this off grid, there will still be utilities and internet and stuff though.
There will be running water, and there will be electricity and internet.
Yeah, it just won't be provided by somebody else. So, well,
The internet will be.
internet, Starlink. That's a good. That's
not
that's
not
a good
quite
thing.
able to
We
provide our
can't
own
do it
internet yet.
ourselves.
Can't do that ourselves, but yeah, we'll be doing solar. We'll have our own well, have our own septic, so everything else there will be our own.
Let's Toby, I'm going
Wants
to
to
ask
be
you to
on-
go
he
sit
wants
down
to
over
be on
there.
your lap.
Toby, go lie down.
Thank you, Toby. Are you going to have contractors build, or are you going to build it ourselves?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're doing it ourselves for most of it.
For the most part,
Yeah.
yeah. As of right now, our plan is to do most of it ourselves. We are thinking that um, we will probably have the shell, because we're thinking of doing a barn dominium right now, and so we're thinking of having the shell of that built by somebody else, and then we'll finish the rest of it off. But as far as everything else, pretty much we'll be doing it all ourselves.
And what's the first thing that we'll be focusing on getting out there?
If you've been watching from the beginning, the first thing we did was put in a septic tank. So the utilities are really the first thing we have to
do.
have. I mean, we have to have septic, we
And the
have to
well.
have water, we have to have power. So those are going to be a big focus, but at the same time, we want to start getting some of that other infrastructure in. So, like, we just got a greenhouse that came in. We like to have some kind of barn structure up for storage of materials and things like that as we're building. So, those will be some of the main focuses to start with.
You kind of touched on stuff before, but I'm going to ask this question. What led you guys to deciding to do this? You mentioned a desire for self-reliance and stuff like that. But like, were there specific catalysts that pushed you in this direction? Now, Dad's mentioned wanting to build a legacy.
Yeah.
Whether his kids want it or not.
So, well, I can think of like one example of something that kind of led this direction was I'm a physical therapist, and I was working with a patient who was near 100 years old, very close. She was getting there. Unfortunately, she did not make it to 100 years old. But I was working with her for quite a while, about 3 times a week. And we talked quite a bit about what her life was like growing up. And that's one thing I loved. I did home health at this time. And that's one thing I loved about working with those older people. They had so many life experiences and loved hearing about it. But she talked about living through the Depression, and I asked her, well, what was that like for you? And she had grown up in a rural area out east side of Utah on a farm, and she said, we knew that people were having a real hard time during the Depression and all, but for us, it was just business as usual. We had food on the table. We did what we always did, and it really didn't affect them near that much. And it just made such an impact on me. I thought, that is so true. I mean, if you are living that life where you're providing for yourself and all, when something bad happens in the world around you, depression or whatever it might be, you may not be so affected. You may be able to continue on, and even if things are really bad, you might be able to at least survive. And so that made a big impact on me, and that kind of stuck with me. How about you, babe?
What was the question again?
What were the catalysts
The
to
catalyst.
kind of get you where you are?
Oh, well, Dad's wanted to do it for a long time. And I like the idea of a smaller town. My plan was yeah, move to a cute old house in a smaller town, fix it up, but the economy wasn't, and wanting to be debt free wasn't gonna allow that. So we had to go with Plan B.
Yeah, and that's part of our deal is we do want to be debt free in this whole process. That's part of being self sustaining. You can't really be in debt and be self reliant. So yeah, I've definitely been the one pushing this, but I said that we're not going to do anything until or if she is ready. And as things have gone on in the world and we see things that are happening around us, I think that's really Bobbi's kind of decided. Yeah, I'd kind of like to.
Get away from craziness.
Yeah, kind of live that lifestyle that you feel better, more safe, and all. So
What animals, if any, are we going to have? I feel like the if any is.
Well, what do we have right now in town?
Yeah, we already got chickens, so.
We have chickens, we have meat rabbits, we have a cat, we have 2 dogs. So
we're not going to eat them, though, the dogs and the cat,
yeah.
unless we have to.
Not much meat on Molly.
But we'll fatten them up before we do. But
so more chickens,
yeah.
and some turkeys, and more rabbits.
Turkeys, huh? Oh, threw that one in.
We've talked about that.
Yeah.
Some ducks, a couple of geese.
No, he doesn't like ducks.
What?
I'm not on the duck bandwagon yet.
They're cute.
You never know.
Goats. Oh, and a cow, a dairy cow.
Mm-hmm. Pigs. She's not as up on the pig thing, but I mean, you gotta have bacon, right? But yeah, it's interesting how you start. We always say that chickens are the gateway drug to homesteading. You get chickens, and then
you go, oh, that's not that hard.
Plus, it's kind of you're going, yeah, chickens. Okay, yeah, we'll get them for some eggs. Okay, then you get the chickens, and it's like they're so fun. You go out, hang out, and just watch them.
And you never waste food because you get to feed it to the chickens.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, chickens kind of was the first thing, and chickens were the first thing. Not chickens was. But yeah, we're looking forward to having some of those other animals: cow, goats,
I think that's about
pigs.
it.
Yeah.
Llama.
We're not doing the horse. That's low on the list of the hierarchy list. No.
We're too old to be riding a horse.
Speak for yourself.
We're gonna get a guard donkey.
A guard donkey. And Brady's gonna ride it.
Oh,
it's gonna be a miniature donkey, and Brady's gonna ride it.
Dragging my knees on the ground.
We are gonna get a couple of bigger outdoor dogs to guard all the animals. Yeah. So that will be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, and cats, because we need
big guard cats.
We need mouse control cats.
Yes, we gotta
hunters.
Have some,
we need hunters.
Gotta have some
because
mouse control.
Our cat has retired from hunting. So.
And we understand that there are quite a few of the mouse
rodents
variety out there. So, yeah.
What was the main thing you were looking for when choosing land?
Good question.
Yeah.
Land. I always wanted lots of acres. I wanted to have a lot of space. That was not economically viable. But we did get 3.1 acres, which is exciting. That we'll be able to do a lot with. And but yeah, here in Utah, what's the number one concern? Water. I mean, so we had to have water. And so that kind of, for us, ruled out a lot of places. And we even found that a lot of the places that were closer into civilization than where we are right now, a
have
lot
much
of that
water.
land just did not have water that came with it. And you really, I mean, if you're going to grow a lot of vegetables, grow a lot of food, if you're going to have a lot of animals
you
and
have
all, you've
water.
got to have a lot of water to be able to do that. And when we first, and we'll tell you all about Riverbed Ranch on another video. We'll explain what it is out there. But one of the things that we found out about that really was a game changer for us out there was that there is a lot of water.
And it's not too far away from town. So 2.5 hours. So it's not, well,
Well, it's not 2.5 hours
no,
from town.
yeah, from town.
You're within an hour of civilization.
Are we calling those towns civilization?
It's like 2.5 hours
there
to the
are-
greater metro area.
There are facilities. Yeah.
So
Well, being so far out there, what's around for entertainment?
work.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Labor.
That's right. Yeah. Entertainment. What's that? No. Well, we haven't been out there too much to be in the entertaining mindset out there.
Chickens.
There's there'll be animals and all that kind of stuff.
And there's other people to socialize with too.
Yep.
So like they're having a potluck in a couple weeks, or a Christmas party.
Christmas party.
And
so that's the other thing we liked out there is it's a community. But as far as the area, there's places to
Dirt
if you want to
bikes.
go, four-wheeling out there and stuff like that. There's a lot of places like that. There's a hot spring within like 15 minutes or so away. A couple of mountains there you go exploring on.
Yeah, I want to go walk around those mountains.
I know. I want to go check them out. We haven't, like I said, we haven't really done much of that yet, but looking forward to checking the area out more.
And we have a swimming pool we're going to set up.
Yeah. And we're gonna build my custom gym out there.
That's right.
There's wild animals out there.
Bunch.
Yeah.
We've seen
We'll discover more as we go.
how are we gonna get ice cream out there?
We'll make it.
We're gonna make it
with cream from our cow, from our dairy
That's
cow.
right. Homemade ice cream with fresh fruit flavorings and
Yeah, that'll be good.
it's gonna be good. Yeah. In fact, that's one of the things I want to do is get an ice cream maker, not just the cranking kind, but get a good ice cream
I
maker.
know. We looked at one yesterday. It was like a dispenser.
He's got plans for an ice cream maker and a pizza oven, and a nice patio, and invite other people from the commune over to have.
It's not a commune.
Commune.
It's a community.
That's what commune's short for.
It's a agricultural
co-op.
Uh-huh. Where everyone bands together and helps each other. And there's specific rules that everyone has to follow within the community.
I think there's specific rules here that we have to follow too.
Yeah.
But we are going to talk about Riverbed Ranch in another video. We'll tell you all about it.
The last question here is a double-parter. What are you most looking forward to about all this, and what are you least looking forward to?
Oh. You want to start with least and end with most, or you want to do the other way around?
So what I'm looking forward to the most is being done.
Have the whole thing over with.
And having a cute house to like decorate and set up and make it pretty and functional. And have a cute cow to milk and gardens to tend and all that. So what I'm least looking forward to is the process.
Is the process of getting there.
Being honest.
Yeah. How about you, Brady?
I don't know what I'm most looking forward to. I know that two things I'm least looking forward to are showering in the fifth wheel And inevitably, when some winter storm hits us out there, when we're living in the fifth wheel, and there's something uncovered that we have to go out and
Take
fix
care of
back up or chase something down out in just like
in the cold.
probably the negatives at that point. At night,
I know.
which
In a blizzard.
yeah, exactly. And for some reason,
At least
there's
it's flat. There
obviously
won't be a
going
hill.
to be some predatory animal out at that time. For whatever reason,
With a cougar stalking you.
or coyotes,
bears.
something.
You're gonna find out there's bears there.
Yeah, I just know it's going to happen. I know it is. I'm looking forward to having that story to tell
There you
Looking forward to living
It's a
through
good
the
story.
story.
when I in the hospital.
And this scar is from
after I fight off a mountain lion and a pack of coyotes to put a tarp over some cement we're trying to dry.
Yeah, actually, that's funny because I was going to say the thing that I'm least looking forward to is this winter out there.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I'm least looking forward to.
It's going to be the worst part.
It will be.
We're the least prepared now.
Yep.
We're the least experienced now. We don't know exactly what to expect.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be awful.
The least amount of infrastructure to support us and all that. So.
Oh, just a long, hard day out working in the cold. Come back to the fifth wheel.
And the
Heat's
heater
not
doesn't
working.
work.
Ooh,
It's gonna be awesome.
it's gonna be so good.
15 blankets on you, trying to. Brady and I will be
You guys
snuggled
can
up
snuggle
together.
up together.
We can get through this. I know we can.
The only good part of that is that I'm a hot sleeper.
That's true.
So that at some point during the night, I'm gonna start taking blankets off. I'm gonna be like, you know what? Not that bad.
As long as you leave your clothes on.
That's expecting me to start with them on.
Yeah. But yeah, and actually, like Bobby, the thing I'm looking most forward to is, yeah, at least having some of that infrastructure in where we're actually homesteading. You know, we're
While we're still
actually
building.
growing things. We're actually got animals that we're raising and processing, and we're at least into that groove a bit, and then eventually where we feel like we're cruising in it. But I've always I knew a long time ago that what I thrive in doing are projects. And so this is giving me endless projects for the rest of my life till I die. And because we're doing this, maybe that'll be sooner rather than later. But, I do. I love projects. I like to plan something out. I like to do it, and I like to see it get done and see that it's what I wanted, what I planned. And so that's pretty exciting for me.
And you're good at that.
Thank you.
He's good at making things functional but beautiful at the same time. So that's good. So it won't be too sketchy.
So we think.
Hopefully.
We'll see. You can be the judge of that as we share our lives with you. And you go, oh, I don't know about that, Clint.
Well, judging by your previous work.
We'll keep a running tally of the number of times we say, close enough.
Yeah, we'll have it on board. This project, and we'll put check marks. Yes or no. Yeah, not that one. That wasn't so good. Anyway, I think we mostly covered anything. If there's something else that you want to know about that we did not cover, go ahead and put it in the comments section, because we're planning on doing these kind of little question answer type things every once in a while, because I know there's going to be more questions, especially as we get into projects. You know, why are you doing this? How are you going to do that? That type of thing. So go ahead and put those questions down, and we can bring that up again in later videos. And And also, if you have any suggestions as to a video that you want to see, yeah, we can do that. But
I just remembered one question that a lot of people ask is, how long is it going to take?
Oh, that's right.
And we don't know.
Yeah.
So
as far
as
as
quick
Bobbi
as
knows,
possible.
really quick, fast.
6 months.
Oh yeah,
we're done.
babe, we'll be done in no time.
But
in reality,
it's just, and especially, I think it's hard to know. 5 years ago would have been hard to know, just building something yourself. But now with all the supply chain issues and shortages and stuff,
and being out far
and out of
away,
town, and
and that's one thing that people out there who have already been out there and starting say that that's the name of the game out there is things are going to go way slower than you expect. So just be prepared for delays and just accept it and work with it. So, but we're looking forward to it, even though, like Brady says, some of that process might be a little
painful.
what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Just look at it as an adventure. It's all in how you perceive it.
Yep.
So,
but in my mind, it's going to be beautiful when it's done. I'm so looking forward to that because I see it in my mind, and it's going to be awesome. Really looking forward to it.
Dad was close to crying. You just have to get him going a little bit more.
Talk about the legacy a little more.
Well, actually, I didn't talk about the legacy, and that is true. That is one thing that I've really looked forward to is building a legacy for our family. Something that even if our kids don't want to live there, if it's something that they can retreat to, and heck, maybe when we die, they just sell it and be done with it. But I'm hoping that they'll love to go there, and it be, even if nobody's living there, that there's at least a retreat for them or whatever. So a family legacy. So. But we hope you join us along the way. Hope you enjoy our videos. We really hope it's an educational experience as well as just a fun time while we go through this process. And we want you to know, those of you who are thinking, oh, I'd love to do this too. I think it's wonderful, because I know there's tons of people. They tell us all the time, I think that is awesome. I want to do that. But I think people don't have the confidence to do it, or they think, can we really change our lifestyle and do something like that? Number one, it's a step-by-step process. As we said, this didn't happen just boom. This has been years of us, our mindset changing, our habits changing, the things that we're doing to where we are now. And it didn't just happen overnight. And the things that we know now, we didn't know years ago. And you can learn them too. And we're hoping that as we go along, we can show you things and teach you things, and to give you the confidence that you can do it too. If you don't want to do it, that's fine, no problem. But hopefully you also are thinking, maybe there's something else I can do to become a little more self-sustaining. Maybe there's something else that I can do that I can do myself and not have to have somebody else do for me. And each time you do that, well, you are one step closer to whatever that might be. For us, it's getting this homestead. We hope, every day it's just trying to get one step closer to that end goal of being self-reliant, having our homestead set up, all the processes and everything, so that we can be self-sustaining. And we want you to take those steps too, so that each day you get one step closer to those goals. Maybe it's one step today, maybe it's one step in a week, whatever it might be. But if you take those little steps over time, it makes a big difference. So follow us along the way, and we hope you can achieve your goals as well. And we hope you have a great time doing this adventure together.